What's up, plant family? Devin is here, and today is finally the day where we're going to get our Amaryllis hybrid seeds planted up. Let's take a quick look back at the short videos that I created showing you how to pollinate your Amaryllis and then how to actually collect those seeds. I'm trying to make my own hybrid Amaryllis, so I use a pipe cleaner to take the pollen from my Amaryllis apple blossom, just like this right here, and then I transfer it to the stigma of my Amaryllis Bogota. After a few weeks, they fertilized, created these wonderful seed pods. The next step is to harvest those seeds and then get them planted. It's finally the day to harvest my Amaryllis hybrid seeds. So you just cut those old seed pods off and open them up. Look at all those beautiful seeds. There's literally dozens inside. And slowly take your time, remove them from those seed pods. Then just let them dry for a few days like this, or like me, put them in a plastic bag and keep them in the refrigerator until you're ready to get them planted. All right, so the first step is we are going to use a clear glass bowl of water to pre-germinate our seeds. And the reason that we're going to do that is eventually we're going to be planting them up in a tray like this, but not all of our seeds are going to be viable. So we want to ensure that everything that we plant up is in fact viable, as we are all tight on space. What a bummer it would be to plant these all up, start trying to germinate them and only half of them actually work. By pre-germinating them in water, we can ensure everything that we plant up in our tray will in fact grow. So that's going to be step number one. So you can see these seeds are really nice and papery. So I'll just take maybe 30 and put them in here. 1, 2, 3. Just dump a few in. There's so many of the seeds. This is from just one plant that if you have a little extras, it doesn't matter. So just go ahead and dump a few in there. You're still gonna have plenty of extras laying around. And just give it a nice little swirl. That looks about like 40 maybe. And you can go ahead and put your Amaryllis seeds back in the fridge. And from here, I'm going to take my bowl and I'm going to place it on my heat mat. This is just going to help them, help the water warm up, and it's just going to help them to germinate even faster. As this is a 3-year plan, anywhere where we can save a little bit of time is absolutely an optimal thing to do. So I have it on my heat mat, and with a couple of grow lights, those are kind of not doing anything to help the situation for now, but eventually they will. If you are interested in learning more about heat mats, go check the video link up there. They're like 15 bucks and indispensable for the avid home gardener. So once these have something going on, we will revisit them and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so it's been 2 weeks and our Amaryllis seeds have sprouted. Here you can see just how cool they are, creating those roots underneath the water. Now the next thing to do, of course, is to get them potted up. So you could use a store-bought bagged seedling mix, or you could make your own at home, which is what I'm gonna be doing. It's simply a 50-50 combination of bagged potting mix with perlite, here you can see. And once you have it like this, we'll just mix it up. The reason we add the perlite is because seedlings need a lot of oxygen. They don't want to be waterlogged, but they do want to stay nice and moist. So this is going to create the nice, perfect consistency. And then once you have it all mixed in, we're going to pre-moisten it by giving it some water. You just got to kind of feel that out, stir it around, and make sure that it's all nice and moistened. To test if it has the right moisture, we'll just take a handful, just like this, and then we will squeeze it. And you can see there's just a little bit of drops of liquid coming out, and that is perfect. You don't want it to be sopping wet, but you don't want it to be dry either. Then from here, we're gonna take our tray. Now, you can find a tray like this in the description below. There are some links. Or if you have a local garden center or nursery that you like, just go and ask for one of their old trays for plugs, things like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill them up. All right, from here, we'll just gently pat them down, not too much. Just get it a little bit more compact in each cell. And then from here, we'll take a chopstick or something and just make a little well in the middle, about 1/2 inch or so. not too deep. Then from here, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to use my chopsticks. I'm going to just gently pick them up like this, you can see, and then I'm going to place that root right in there and use the chopsticks to just kind of push the soil back around that root. It's really nice with the chopstick because it's not over aggressive like you might be with your fingers. And as you can see, the seed is just going to be right on top of that soil. Just ensuring that that root is being touched by soil. All right, so you could, if you have really steady hands, steady fingers, you could absolutely use your fingers to do that, but for me, it's easier with the chopsticks. So now once we have them all potted up, we're gonna put them back onto that heat mat, and that is where they're going to remain, and that's where we're gonna watch them grow. Now, you could put 2 potentially in each of these cells, and later on kind of separate them if you want, but for me, I figured just 1 per cell should be enough, all right? So I'll put it back on the heat mat, and because we have already pre-moistened our soil substrate mix, we don't need to water it, but we do need to keep an eye on it because you do not want these to dry out 100% ever. While they're seedlings, they need to stay nice and babied, they need to be taken care of and stay just slightly moist at all times. It's imperative to its success. All right, so that's all for now. We'll be back as soon as we start to see some growth. All right guys, so it's been 2 weeks since we planted our Amaryllis seeds and they have sprouted. I got all but 2 of them to sprout out of 16. That's pretty darn good. I call that a success. Now, as you can see, they started to sprout honestly like within 2 days of having planted them and putting them on my heating pad. And the thing is with the heating pad, it's exceptional for really initiating that growth of your seeds, but it is going to dry out our seedling starting mix pretty quickly. So you really need to make sure that they don't get too dry because that can really cause your seeds to fail, especially because the seedling starting mix is very high draining. So you really need to be on top of that watering, pretty much looking at it every single day. Now that they are totally sprouted, we can actually take it off of the heating pad and put it into either a very bright sunny location or under a grow lamp, which is what I'm going to do. And absolutely you want to make sure that with your tray you have it on top of something so that when you are gently watering it, you just go and you gently water just a little bit of each one. And you can really do this pretty much every other day while it's on the heating pad, and then every couple days when it's off of the heating pad. And you can see just how quickly it uses the water and then lets it drain freely. That is essential for our seeds. And now from here, I'm just gonna continue to grow them indoors as it is the winter time where I live. So I will keep them inside as long as the winter temperatures are here, and I will just take care of them as if they were baby plants now that they have sprouted and are ready to go. It's been about 3 months since we planted our Amaryllis hybrid seeds. Let's take a look at how they're growing. All 16 of them have, in fact, started to grow. They all have a few healthy leaves that have started. In fact, some of them are creating their 3rd leaf, and as they create more leaves, some of the older ones they start to just fall away, and so you will just need to do a little bit of maintenance and remove some of those leaves as they turn brown. That's absolutely normal. What I've been doing, I've been fertilizing them with a diluted solution, about half strength, once or twice a month. And otherwise, just making sure I'm just touching them, make sure they're just slightly moist at all times, which is perfect. And I have them under these grow lights still. I do notice that they have gotten a little bit of gnats coming, but nothing too serious. So that is something you want to keep track of. Make sure they're not too wet If they are too wet, they'll definitely get the gnats, and it would probably hinder their growth as well. But for now, I'm just gonna let them continue to grow, and we will revisit next time I see some more action coming along. All right, guys, well, it's been 6 months since we planted our Amaryllis hybrid seeds. Let's take a look at the tray. They are doing fantastic. Each and every one of the seeds has germinated and growing beautifully. Now, I'm out here in the end of May. I planted these at the beginning of November, and I want to show you guys what to do with them next once they've really had a chance to fill out the small containers that you started them in. And then we're gonna go ahead and transplant them to the next size container, all right? So let's just take one out and see what that root system is looking like. So I have a nice little spoon to kind of help me get it out of here. We always wanna be super careful when we are transplanting seedlings. All right, there we go. All right, check it out. Oh man, so cool. A beautiful amount of roots coming on. You can see they're just starting to sort of spin around the base of that container. So that is a good sign that they are ready to get replanted. We're just gonna nicely loosen them up a little bit. Just like that. You can see the bulb is starting to grow. And this was like a 1.5, 2-inch little cell. So we're gonna just plant it up into the next size. So I have a 4-inch container filled with houseplant potting mix. It is pre-moistened. And we're just gonna get this guy planted. Try to spread those roots out as well as you can. Take a little bit out. And we're just gonna lightly cover that bulb. It's gonna be a little bit more, it's gonna resemble more like the bulbs that we would plant in the fall, where we do allow a little bit of that bulb to above the surface of the soil, just like that. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna let it hang out here in the shade for about a week, and then it should be acclimated to the outdoor conditions a little bit better, and I'll go ahead and put it out onto my back deck where it gets a lot more sunlight. These don't mind getting tons of sun in the summertime. It's excellent, and it should help it grow nicely. So I think that should conclude this video. Now you know how to grow Amaryllis from seeds that you have hybridized from various varieties that you grow inside your home. It's a fun project. It doesn't take as long as you necessarily think, less than a year to go from hybridizing to this size little bulb. They're so fun, delightful, and I'm gonna have my very own Amaryllis that no one else in the world has, and that's pretty darn sweet. I hope you found this video helpful and insightful, maybe a little bit inspirational, to give you the courage to try something new and allow Mother Nature to show her beauty in new ways at your home, in your garden. If you did enjoy this video, consider subscribing. We're bringing new plant-related content every single week. Thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you real soon. Ciao.